Hi friends, today we are looking at the Ellen Ochoa story in our anthology. We're looking up to Ellen Ochoa, and the essential question is, why are goals important? Read about Ellen Ochoa and find out how she reached her goals.
Can you imagine what it would be like to look through the window of a spaceship into space? Ellen Ochoa can. As the first female Hispanic astronaut, Ellen knows exactly what that would be like. Her job has taken her into space 4 times, and now that she's back, she leads the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. Her hard work and determination make her someone to look up to. Caption: Ellen looks through the Earth observation window on the International Space Station. Reaching for the stars. Ellen Ochoa was born in California in 1958, the same year the space program began. Back then, only men became astronauts. Women were not allowed even to apply for the job. But in 1978, things changed. NASA began accepting women into their astronaut training program. Sally Ride was in that first class, and in June 1983, she became the first American woman to go into space. It was Sally Ride's mission that inspired Ellen Ochoa to become an astronaut. But Ellen says that it was her mother who taught her how to get there. As a girl, Ellen learned that if she worked hard in school, she could become whatever she dreamed of. While Ellen was studying at Stanford University, she decided to join the astronaut program. Most of the astronauts at that time were men. She wasn't a military pilot like many of them. Ellen wasn't chosen at first, but that didn't stop her. She wanted to go into space, and she knew this was a problem she could solve. Sidebar: what is NASA? Do you know what NASA stands for? NASA is the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It is a government organization that does more than send astronauts into space. Besides learning all they can about Earth and its neighbors, NASA scientists help teachers inspire and educate students who dream of going into space, just like Ellen. Caption: Ellen was a good math and science student. Quotation: Don't be afraid to reach for the stars. I believe a good education can take you anywhere on Earth and beyond. Ellen Ochoa. Solving problems. While at Stanford University, Ellen studied subjects related to space. She did research for several inventions that helped solve problems. One of her inventions helped guide robotic arms for work in space. Robotic arms work like human arms. They have parts that move like a shoulder, an elbow, and a wrist. They do jobs that are too hard or dangerous for people. Many tasks in outer space require astronauts to use robotic arms. Ellen's experience with robotic arms helped her get into NASA's astronaut training program in 1990. But before Ellen could be an astronaut, she had one more problem to solve. Caption: One of Ellen's inventions helps guide robotic arms.
All right, I would like you to answer the question, what accomplishment helped Ellen become an astronaut? You may need to reread this page to find the answer.
Training in space. Once Ellen Ochoa was accepted into the astronaut training program, she had to get herself ready. It was not an easy task. Her strong background in math and science helped her do well in her new training classes. She also had to pass a physical exam. During training, astronauts work on machines that get them used to working in space. One machine creates weightlessness conditions that astronauts feel in space. In training, things keep breaking and problems have to be solved, Ellen says. I was in training for 3 years before my first mission. Space work is teamwork. An astronaut must be both a team player and a leader as well, Ellen says. She tells students, "You should get involved in activities where you work closely with other people. Working closely with others is an essential part of being an astronaut and solving problems in space." First, there is the ground crew. They inspect and repair the shuttle before each mission. Next, mission control workers guide the astronauts through each moment of a mission and debrief them on procedures. They are responsible for knowing how equipment is working. They communicate with astronauts to check on how they feel. Caption: Ellen says weightlessness feels like swimming or scuba diving.
Okay, look at how did Ellen Ochoa train to be an astronaut and reread to find out.
During a space flight, the teamwork continues. Ellen and the other astronauts work together to meet the goals of their mission. A spaceflight crew is like a sports team. The commander of the shuttle is the team captain. He or she makes the crucial decisions that have serious effects on a mission. On her first mission in 1993, Ellen Ochoa was a mission specialist. Mission specialists are scientists who do experiments. Ellen used a robotic arm to send and get back a satellite that collected information about the sun. Then, on her second mission in 1994, Ellen was the payload commander. The payload might be supplies or equipment, such as the robotic arm. She did satellite studies of the sun's effect on Earth's climate or weather. Captions: Ellen controls the space shuttle's robotic arm. The Mission Control Center in Houston supports NASA's spacecraft missions. To space and back. In 1999, Ellen was a mission specialist again on a spaceflight. She and the crew delivered supplies to the International Space Station. She walked in space for the first time during this mission. Ellen has flown in space 4 times and spent almost 1,000 hours in orbit. On her last space flight in 2002, Ellen used the robotic arm to deliver supplies and help build new parts of the space station. But being on a space mission is not all work. Astronauts have free time to relax and do the things they enjoy on Earth. Some read or write. Some astronauts like to watch movies or listen to music. Ellen liked to play her flute in her spare time. Captions: Astronauts have to work closely together in tight spaces. Before becoming an astronaut, Ellen was studying to be a professional musician. An interview with Ellen Ochoa. What is NASA training like? In training, we prepare for anything that could happen on a space mission, anything that could go wrong. Nothing has ever gone wrong on any of my missions, and our training helps us make sure that nothing will. For my last mission, we trained for 9 months before the actual flight. How do you sleep on the space shuttle? On my last mission, we slept in what can best be described as a sleeping bag with hooks. You would find a place to hook onto and float in. What advice would you give a 3rd grader who wants to become an astronaut? The opportunities I had were the result of having a good educational background. Strive for excellence and take what you are learning in school right now seriously. Have a goal and try to break your goal into small steps. Caption: Ellen Ochoa trained hard to become an astronaut. Women who counted. Long before NASA began letting women become astronauts, 3 African American women who loved math made a big contribution to America's space program. Their story was told in the book and film Hidden Figures. Dorothy Vaughan, Mary Jackson, and Katherine Johnson worked for the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, or NACA. NACA was what the United States Space Program was called before NASA. Dorothy joined NACA in 1943, Mary joined in 1951, and Katherine joined in 1953. All three women studied math. They were hired to use their math skills to plan flight paths for early rockets and satellites. Then, in 1958, when NASA was created, Dorothy, Mary, and Katherine continued to use math to help America's space program. They played a major role in NASA's success. Thanks to these women and other people like them, NASA has launched countless satellites into space, roamed the surface of Mars, and used telescopes to learn about distant galaxies. Like Ellen Ochoa, Dorothy, Mary, and Katherine worked hard to reach their goals. Captions: Dorothy Vaughan, Mary Jackson. Katherine Johnson used her math skills when she worked for NASA. Ellen Ochoa today. Every day, Ellen Ochoa uses what she learned as an astronaut to help her be successful. In 2007, Ellen became the deputy director of the Johnson Space Center. Then, in 2013, she was promoted to director. As director of the Space Center, Ellen believes that teamwork is the key to keeping the space program moving. She says that her training and experiences as an astronaut help her to do that. So whether Ellen is in a meeting, talking with students and teachers, or helping astronauts accomplish something in space, she encourages teamwork. For Ellen, working together is that important. Ellen likes that every day she is reminded about what a special opportunity it was to be in space. She likes that there are 5 schools in the United States named after her. And she likes telling students and visitors to the Space Center how she solved the problem of becoming an astronaut and got to go into space. Captions: Ellen Ochoa encourages girls to reach for the stars at an annual event at the Johnson Space Center. Ellen says it takes diligence, determination, and teamwork to be an astronaut. Quotation: It was an amazing experience being up in space. Ellen Ochoa.
Okay, I would like you to summarize how Ellen feels about teamwork, and then I want you to go back into the text and find text evidence. And that is all for right now. Thank you very much, friends.